What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Traders Podcast. I'm Flexing Joe.
And I'm Robbie.
What's up, Robbie? How's your weekend been?
Weekend's good. Went to San Francisco with my wife. We were celebrating our second wedding anniversary.
Yeah?
So we
Congratulations.
had a pretty good time. Yeah, thank you. And actually, noticed a couple of things over there that I thought would be good topics.
Yeah,
So
let's get into
we'll
it.
get into those a little bit
Okay.
later. But how was your weekend so far?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been good, just working the first 2 days so far, holiday weekend, so things are pretty busy. Um, Otherwise, just like, dude, I feel like I'm in like England or something like that because it has rained or like drizzled or been cloudy for like weeks straight now. It's the weirdest thing.
That's
So
too bad. Are you working tomorrow though?
yeah, I'll be working tomorrow. We'll be
Okay,
grilling out a whole bunch of food, having fun and everything, serving everybody, probably
nice.
serve a couple hundred people, which will be cool. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sounds good.
yeah.
Well, I
Otherwise,
can't help but notice, based on your commentary, that the market is in a pretty big rally right now.
dude, yeah, actually, it's really interesting. Just like I'm surprised that we're up like that. Like the Nasdaq futures are up about 500 points from,
Yeah.
or what is it like? Yeah, just about 500 points from the Friday morning lows.
Hmm.
Pretty
Yeah, it
surprised.
makes me wonder what's going to happen here because it was looking, at least to me, I was feeling like it was starting to set up kind of for a bearish pullback on the daily and whatnot.
Mm, yeah,
But I don't know.
yeah. I'm not so sure either. I mean, it's it kind of looks like some. I mean, look at this, like some buying in here between the 9 and the 20 EMA there on the daily,
Hmm.
and this 721 level is just kind of sitting right here. We kind of
Yeah.
every time I look at the charts, I don't really this upper price level. Every time I look at the charts, I've been like lately just like toggling back and forth between um adjusting for contract changes and not. So
Okay.
adjusting for contract changes, I feel like makes this worse, you know,
Yeah.
in terms of both like where it pushed into and like where it's potentially bouncing. And if we just go, why fix it? Hold on. There we go. That's the weirdest thing. But now if you look at like where we were pushing into, you kind of see like into this area. That's like
Hmm.
where we failed.
Yeah.
So like that makes more sense. And then if you look at more closely like where we bounced Friday morning, makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
in through
That makes a
here.
lot of sense too. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. So I think this is another confirmation of like not adjusting for contract changes. I mean, it could be. I mean, could be just really at the first pullback, and I think there's not like huge news this week, right? Like we do have this nice flag. Uh, we have FOMC minutes,
Hmm.
and I gotta check this app, my earnings thing, but I'm pretty sure that we have Nvidia earnings this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know for sure? Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
I don't know which day, but I know it is for sure this week. I
Yeah,
kind of was thinking it was Thursday.
it's Wednesday. Wednesday, Nvidia, CRM,
Okay.
HP, and
HP.
AI, and also e.l.f. for the makeup traders out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which, dude, you actually know? Like, I actually heard like a crazy story about e.l.f. makeup, which is like they've dropped incredibly, but like, dude, e.l.f. makeup. Look at this from like the lows here, like 10x. This is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. But now it's bottomed out right off of 50. Go
Yeah,
figure.
it seems like it's doing a great recovery so far. And is that a gap that it just filled too?
It's actually got a couple more gaps for my people. Look at this actually, like off the
Mm,
50 on the monthly. This is back.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, this is the weekly. Let's go to the monthly real quick. Oh yeah, right off the monthly 200, bro. Look at that, dude. And we gotta invest in some makeup.
Yeah, it seems like quite a number of tickers have been, at least the ones that have been beat up really bad, have been
Yeah,
finding some support recently. And I don't know if that means the bottom's in or what, but time will tell for sure.
yeah. Some of these like smaller names, you mean, like having that bottom?
Hmm.
Yep. And I think it did not fill the gap yet here that you were just referring to. Got some room. Yeah,
Okay.
it's got some room. Oh, dude, it's gonna go. Like this actually looks like it is a pretty good play. Like it, especially like just climbing up here, flagging in through this gap, just absorbing in the middle, and like
Yeah.
sitting on this relative area. I think that we'll have to come back and revisit this in a couple weeks, man. But I'm gonna jot this down for a swing trade, bro. E.l.f. makeup to at least 90.
Yeah. That'd be a good one to follow up on for sure.
Where's the post-it note fat, bro? Bro, my kids be stealing my guarantee, dude.
Rascals.
Dang. All right, I got an index card. Don't ask me why I have an index card, but I've got a loan index card, so we're writing this down. E.l.f.
All right.
to at least to
Sounds
the
good.
at least to gap fill 88.49, 88.49, and this is the daily chart. Oh, it looks like maybe by Friday. Let's see, by
Yeah.
5:30, I think it's Friday. We also got Nvidia earnings on Wednesday.
Yeah. But we're so close on filling that gap on the daily. It's like
Hmm.
84.40 to 85.41. So just a buck away. At least if we're counting it from like the prior wicks versus like where the last candle closed.
Yeah, this one for
But
sure. Yep,
hmm
we could be tight there. No,
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty sweet. Let's
Yeah,
check.
too bad you weren't watching that one last week though to let us know about that break and base setup
I
because we could have
know,
had some calls by now.
I know, dude. This was like damn sweet here. Let's check out
Yeah,
Nvidia. Disregard my crazy. Oh my god, this chart's even crazier. What am I doing? What am I doing? My chart's a wild, bro. Got like I create a drawing set and I'll start just drawing lines. I'll come back to it like a week later and be like, I don't know what I was doing here, but this makes sense.
yeah,
um,
yeah. Frankly, I don't know what to make of Nvidia, like because we got that huge candle on the 21st, and it's like pretty bearish. But now we're like maybe finding some support in the daily EMAs,
mm,
maybe because like if we're looking at like May 13th candle close and then Friday's close and or open anyway, kind of bounced off that body. So
yep.
I mean, I could see that kind of working out for some support, but I don't know if I'd call that confirmation yet. But
Mm.
frankly, my swinging skills they're not there yet. Like at least maybe I don't know. Maybe if there's something was cleaner than this, but I feel like I just can't quite get a good read on this one just yet.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you can see like there's a somewhat other than that like crazy one wick. There's a decent
Hmm.
flag set up here. Um, we really, even though the candle by candle flipped bearish here on Wednesday, like you don't have any strength in the follow through, right? Like if we zoom in on this here a little bit more, make it bigger for the viewers at home. You're like, we went up, like we took out the high and then we came down lower, right? But then like when we closed here, what we do, like we gapped up, filled the gap, kind of dojied in here inside day. And then when we gapped down, it caught a bid and obviously it pushed all the way back up and still closed here. So like 2 days, no follow through close below this, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. And they ultimately just wicked under 130, but they held it. Like, cause this is right here at the open is 130. It wicked down 75 cents, 80 cents, and then pushed back up.
Hmm.
Right. And just kind of held. Yep. I mean, basically this. Basically this candle's close right here is the same thing. Oh, dude, I got this on another drawing set, bro. This is a total gap fill play. I've seen these ones a lot. So like, if we have this here to here from like where we closed to where we opened,
Hmm.
this gap is now like filled from the close. We
Yeah.
pushed down, pushed back up, and then we're stuck here in this middle. So I wouldn't be surprised, man, to see like the next. I mean, the market's moving up right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it just kind of like because it's got earnings, kind of just like melt off and then push. That's
Yeah.
my
Sure.
that's my guy. That's my guess.
Hmm.
My guess. And
Well, what, on a similar note,
Hmm.
What do you feel about Tesla's upcoming Robo Taxi stuff?
Dude, I think the Tesla Robo Taxi is big. Like, I'm very interested in that. I'm very intrigued. Like, I want to ride in one, because they
Hmm.
look like a really small, like kind of like Honda Civic type car. But
Yeah,
when like they open the door, the front seat looks like enormous. I'm over 6 feet. It looks like I have all this leg room.
yeah.
Almost kind of looks like. I mean, I know obviously I think there is a back seat too. You could probably squeeze a couple kids in, maybe not adults, but
Hmm.
um, it almost kind of looks like you would be very comfortable. Like if you were shopping or and had a couple bags, you could just literally like put them between your feet. You know how you kind of get in and just like put your bag in between your feet, that deal.
Right, yeah.
It looks like
Hmm.
you'd have so much room in the front seat, and they're probably. I mean, they're not really going to be longer rides anyways, unless you're in traffic, right?
Yeah, but I keep seeing Elon mentioning stuff about the Robo Taxi specifically, like saying, "Oh, when you're not using your car, it can go get the groceries for you and that sort of stuff, or like pick up your food delivery." So rather than paying for Uber Eats and whatnot, you just go send your car, and then maybe somebody at the restaurant will walk out and put it in your trunk or something like that.
Bro, that is like so insane, and I do feel like that's eventually coming, right? But like
Hmm.
even the concept of FSD, like so I can just literally punch in the restaurant, the address, whatever it is,
Yeah.
if it's Wendy's or if it's, KFC, whatever you're getting, right? And just punch in the address and literally just sit there like, all right, drive me. And like
Hmm.
you know what I mean? And not have to worry about anybody like potentially messing with my food, like even the person who puts it in the car. But eventually that will be a robot too. It'll be like a robot to robot transfer. And then
Yeah, for sure.
and then you have the Tesla bot at your house, and the Tesla bot goes out to the car and then just brings it to you while you're probably on the couch.
Yeah. Well, so like I don't know if I've mentioned this to you or even on the podcast, but like I've definitely shared this opinion with other people.
Yeah.
There's one road trip that I take every year, or at least I have for like the last maybe 12 plus years
Up to
from here to
Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's about, roughly an 8-hour drive.
Hmm?
And I would just absolutely love if I can just get in my car first thing in the morning, like 5 a.m., or maybe even like around midnight, and just go to sleep and then wake up with my destination. Wouldn't that be nice?
Dude, it would be super nice. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds pretty awesome. I don't but you can't fall asleep, right? In a Tesla on the FSD?
Well, right, not yet,
Not yet.
because I don't know if it's really considered FSD. Like I know there's multiple stages. For the longest time, Elon's kind of been saying FSD way prematurely.
Yeah, well, that's his MO. He's
Um,
always ahead of things, right?
yeah, yeah, but like for me, it's a pretty straight shot from where I live to I-5
Yeah.
up to California. Like you could be on I-5 for like 90% of the trip, basically. But the reason I bring it up is because um, in San Francisco there was all these Waymo cars around, and I totally forgot about Waymo. But uh, have you ever encountered anybody that talked about Waymo, or like do you have it in any of the cities that you've vacationed to or anything like that?
I've never seen it in person, but a guy who works for me mentioned being out in San Francisco. I
Yeah,
think it was last summer, and he said him and his sister took it. He sent me like a video from inside of it. So like it was, so it's weird. Like I don't know. Are you not supposed to sit in the driver's seat? Because like he sent me a video of the driver's seat, right? And like that there was nobody
yeah,
in there, right? And it made me think of that scene in the original Transformers movie where like Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf are both sitting on the passenger side of the seat of the car. Do you remember this? And she's like, "Don't sit there," and he's like, "Don't sit." Like, I can't sit there. He's driving. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it made me think of that. Like, the car's self-driving, but like you still can't sit in the driver's seat. There's like somebody driving. It
Well,
was weird.
right. I mean, they don't want you, messing with the controls because I would imagine there's user override.
Probably
Or
sure.
that's what I suspect. But like, definitely see people in the front and the back,
Mm,
and there's a lot of people that would just like be in shock because like they're sitting in the corner of the street. They see him driving by, and they're taking pictures of their or video with their phone because there's literally nobody inside, and these things are just driving around. Um, for me, it just seemed like I couldn't go like maybe a minute or two without seeing one.
dang.
I had no idea what the size of their fleet was. According to Grok, it's about 1,500 fleet nationwide, but in San Francisco specifically, it's about 300 cars they said something about 700 that are registered at a terminal. I don't actually know what that means versus the ones that are like, I guess, active full
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But they're Jaguar I-Pace electric cars, and they service a 7 by 7 mile radius in San Francisco, 300 cars. And this is like, yeah, I'm just seeing them everywhere nonstop.
And, and
And it's about 20 plus bucks per fare. I mean, depending, but like for like what like the trips that I looked at potentially taking,
oh,
it would have been about 20 bucks for like a, you know, 5 miles, something like that.
oh, okay. So they're a Jaguar?
Jaguar I-Pace. It's a pretty nice looking car.
Oh.
And they have their lidar and everything on that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's a big thing versus Tesla, because Tesla just uses uh, pretty basic cameras,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can infer geometry with cameras, especially with AI algorithm type stuff. But like with lidar, I mean, you're literally recording
Yeah.
true geometry with those
It,
sensors.
yeah,
So there's a
it's
big advantage there.
yeah, it says it's fully autonomous, uses LiDAR, radar, and 29 cameras, and you cannot sit in the driver's seat and should avoid touching all controls.
Yeah.
So that's crazy that it's a Jaguar. It looks like in some of these I should just probably like show a picture of, right? Like
Yeah.
uh yeah. Um
Uh-oh, stream is paused.
oh, hold on. I think I just accidentally minimized you, but I'm pretty sure we're still recording. We're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all right.
Dude, like look at this thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah, they got them in all four corners, plus on the top there.
yeah. Have you seen the videos of people vandalizing these?
No, I haven't.
Dude, like you should look some of them up. Like they're because I think they also have these in like maybe like Texas somewhere, I thought too, but I know they do have like
Yeah,
you said.
so they have Austin, Texas,
Okay.
Los Angeles, Phoenix,
Okay.
Arizona.
Okay.
Let's see, another couple of cities in California besides SF. We got Mountain View, Palo Alto, Los Altos, and some parts of Sunnyvale, and then they got Miami, Florida is a pretty big area too.
Yeah. So like there's like well there's like people who vandalize these things. It's the craziest thing.
hmm
Um because you're on camera. Like
Right. Well, that's funny you mentioned that because recently there's all that Tesla hate,
yeah.
and people were vandalizing various Cybertrucks and other Tesla vehicles. And it's like, dude, these things are recording 24/7. Well, I guess it's the Sentry mode, so not 24/7, but anytime there's like either motion or like a vibration sensor or something like that, then they start to record. And of course, these people are getting busted for vandalizing. And it's like, I mean, I guess for me, I guess it's just obvious because I know about the technology, but I
Mhm.
guess a lot of people just really had no clue that they had all those cameras and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I had also forgotten that they were owned by Alphabet,
Yeah.
aka Google.
Yeah. Yeah. They're a Google thing. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, so I just wonder if they're going to IPO one of these days. And I'm curious because, like, right now, all I really know of them is just their taxi service. But I mean, I think the play bigger term is for them to license the
Mm.
self-driving stuff to other players.
Yeah.
And it would be really interesting if they ever spin it off an IPO.
Yeah, it would be for sure.
People would buy it up hugely, I'm sure.
I wonder though if they ever will because like the Google umbrella itself is already like, obviously Google, YouTube,
Yeah,
right? So and then they have their other things, like their other apps and etc.
right. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't know if they would or not, but yeah, I'd be interested. I'd be interested. What was that hey, what was that other company that we were talking about like investing in rockets or something the other day?
Oh, I think it's Starfighter.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's a cool name, bro.
It is. Yeah, it's like it's not really okay. So I mean, I guess it is a space company, and I
Yeah.
should probably do more. I should have probably done more research on this, considering that I just like invested. It's like a pre-IPO investment. But like they are really cool looking jet sort of planes, and they have um
Oh yeah, dude. All right.
what's the space center in Florida? Kennedy Space, is that right, or is that Texas? I don't remember. But anyway, that like they're in a good spot where
We don't know.
where yeah, we listen guys, we don't know what we're talking about half the time, so I mean, this is all purely educational, isn't it? But
I don't even
like the
know if
thing
we should
is like
call it educational anymore.
their
Pure humor.
infrastructure is like yeah, their infrastructure is like is their needs are met with the other space organizations, so like they don't have to worry about like, hey, we need a crane or something, like, and figuring out how to do that themselves. They can rely on what's already there.
Hmm.
But it's a super small investment anyway, so I mean, if it goes tits up, then whatever. But it could just be one of those where it's like, you bought whatever shares that you wanted. It was like 350 a share or something like that, and then hopefully when it IPOs, if maybe you get double your money on some of them, and you cover or sell like half, and the rest of them are free. You just hold those forever or whatever. But could be interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely could be, bro. It definitely could be very interesting. I'm uh I'm curious to see how it's gonna play out. I'm tempted obviously to like, you know, look into this pre-IPO thing too. Starfighter Space announces 2 new contracts to help provide critical research at the USA ramps as the USA ramps up its hypersonic testing and development initiative. So this thing's
And
got
I think they
Mach 2
mentioned
things.
something about, yeah, they're one of the few, if not the only, like non-military company that can do Mach 2 or something like that. I don't know if that's right, or if I read that correctly, but I kind of thought I read something similar to that nature.
Yeah, it's dude, it's pretty. This is pretty sick. Kennedy Space Center is in Florida, by the way. Um,
Okay.
it's alongside SpaceX, Blue Origin, and United Launch Alliance.
hmm
It is very interesting.
Yeah, but I gotta say, just going back to San Francisco for a bit, like
Hmm.
when I was coming back home, I felt like, damn, I'm lucky, man, because like it was kind of cool to visit the city and all, but like, God, bro, I don't want to live in the city ever. I love my mountains and redwood trees, and like
Yep.
country-ish side near me.
Yep.
Like I'm like 10 minutes from the beach, and I got miles and miles and miles of coastline, and I've got like, I mean, sure, there's some traffic, but like comparatively, like in San Francisco, dude, it was basically 10 miles an hour in traffic. So like literally just anywhere you wanted to go, if it was during the daytime, you're probably a minimum of 30-minute car ride. And
Sucks.
and with people walking around, you don't want to be taking left turns because there's so many different vehicles wanting to go straight. And then on top of that, pedestrians crossing, and it's like, dude, I was at the pier and I was trying to turn left, and it was a weird angle. So the perpendicular traffic was not leaving. Like they were, it wasn't one of those situations where like don't block that intersection.
Mm-hmm.
So they would basically block and leave zero room for anybody that wanted to go through.
Oh
And on
no.
top of that, the pedestrians, like hundreds of them, just every light. And at one point, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna just take a right and then like come back around.
That's.
But yeah, yeah. So I felt pretty lucky. But like, have you ever felt like you've encountered perfection and then you've like tried something somewhere else and it's ruined everywhere else because the one thing that you tried was so good somewhere else?
Like.
Nothing else compares to it, like food.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. I've been say like this is like the best dish I've ever had, and then you go to have it again, and it's not as good as you remember, or just not as good, right? It's like
Yeah.
you almost kind of wonder if your mind was playing tricks on you. Was it ever that good to begin with?
Well, for me and Ashley, it's pineapple fried rice
Mm-hmm.
and Thai tea. We got this place near us, and in our minds, it's the best, pineapple fried rice that we've ever had versus all the other Thai places we've gone to.
Mm-hmm.
but in SF, we went to this pretty legit looking kind of like tea boba place, and she got a black sugar a boba drink, but I got the traditional Thai tea, and like it was okay, but I was like, oh, dude, this is no Bangkok West, you know.
I
I was like a
gotcha.
little bit bummed.
Yeah, 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 for sure. There's always places like
Yeah.
that.
hmm
Um, but overall, it was a good trip to San Francisco.
Yeah, it was pretty good. The weather forecast ended up not being the best, but it cleared up by like 1 o'clock. So, but that said, even though it was like ended up being sunny, like the wind is nuts, man. So it's like I couldn't have worn that. I couldn't have gone there with just a short and t-shirts, or even just without a
Hmm,
sweater, because that would have been freezing.
dang.
But
Yeah.
walking around is it's nice just to see the sights and things.
Did you guys stay overnight there or just the day trip?
Yeah, we stayed overnight.
Nice. Did you do
Yeah,
like a
we just came back a few hours ago.
did you do like an Airbnb or did you like stay at a chain place?
Hotel, yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
hmm
You sent me that video of like Alcatraz, right? I saw that like clip and I could tell it was windy just in that video because like how rough that water looked. And I know that like that water is like supposedly pretty rough like all the time anyways, right? That's supposed one of the things that's
Yeah,
supposed to make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to
escape and
escape.
survive.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
have to survive that. And there's a lot of time where that water is like pretty cold, right? Like in the 50s.
Oh yeah, yeah. So between the cold and the heavy surf, I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine, dude. I'm a wimp when it comes to the ocean anyway. Like, because I can swim fine, but like as far as temperature goes, dude, give me my heated pool. And even then, sometimes that's too cold.
Oh my god, dude, you're funny. You're funny. I got my pool open, bro. I don't even know if that water is even 70 degrees yet. Like we haven't had that many a couple days of like over 70 and they were wonderful and like they disappeared. Like that's the crazy thing about people like weather in Maine. People will be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, if you don't like the weather in Maine, just wait a minute." Like cuz it'll just like it'll change, dude. It'll absolutely change. And it's like there was one day in particular I'm thinking of in the and like it was about like 2 weeks ago now.
hmm
I mowed my lawn shirtless. Like it was hot. Okay.
Yeah.
That was probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
hmm
Dude, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm at my daughter's softball game in pants, like sneakers, like
Yeah.
t-shirt, sweatshirt, jacket, layered up, and like sitting in a chair, freezing.
Yeah.
3 hours later, and it wasn't like I was like, oh, it's because I got sunburn or something. You know how you get like the shivers? It was like, no,
hmm
it was all of a sudden cloudy and cold, and like with a little breeze, and it was like, how is this even the same day? Wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I don't know if I can handle that.
It was wild, man. It was wild.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean too about the city, right? That comment about like you would never want to live there, and like it's for some people, but I'm with you, dude. It's not for me. It's definitely
Yeah.
way too crowded, too long to go do anything. Like I can't imagine sitting in traffic for 30 minutes just like trying to go to the gym or trying to go to the grocery store. Forget that. Forget that. No way.
Yeah. And I'm surprised I didn't see more hybrid or electric vehicles. Like there was still a huge share of just typical ice cars.
Gas
And
guzzlers.
like, yeah, and I couldn't imagine, like, if I did live there, like I couldn't imagine not having a hybrid or an electric vehicle, because just like you're stuck in traffic. It doesn't make any sense
Mm-hmm.
to be burning that engine while you're just, literally idling.
Yeah, for sure.
And those hills, some of those hills are pretty steep. Like some of them were like, I felt like 45-degree angles going up. And I just
That's pretty
remember,
crazy.
back in my day when my mom was teaching me how to drive stick, I couldn't imagine learning how to drive stick in San Francisco, man. That'd be insanity.
Dude, you would need a new clutch by the end of the month.
Oh yeah,
It'd
for
be
sure.
terrible. It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of like homeless or anything like that?
No, not really. In like the wharf area proper, like it's pretty clean.
Yeah? Cool.
So from what I've seen online, that's not in that particular area.
Okay. Yeah.
But it also, I mean, I saw some obviously, but like in the very touristy spots, they do a pretty decent job of keeping it clean. But it's funny now that I mention it, or now that I think about it, um, I didn't see more than one police officer in the whole like Wharf Pier 39 area the whole time, which I thought was kind of insane.
Yeah.
You would figure that you'd see a lot more law enforcement because at least where I live, uh, not like it's a horrible neighborhood or anything, but like their presence is known,
Mm.
and like I either see a sheriff or California Highway Patrol or something, pretty much anywhere I go. And
Mhm.
I was surprised that I just didn't see a big presence in San Francisco. And also, the first vehicle that I did see was a freaking Crown Victoria, a Lincoln, Lincoln
Ford,
Crown Vic,
Ford Crown Vic.
which those were like,
Yeah.
or Ford Crown Vic,
Yeah.
which those were like discontinued, I thought, in large part by like the early 2000s by most uh, law
Yeah.
enforcement agencies in my area. Anyway, they switched to like Ford Taurus, Explorers, Dodge Chargers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, San Francisco is a pretty rich city, and they're still sporting the Ford Crown Vic.
Bro, the final Crown Victoria rolled off the line September 15th, 2011. So, dude, you
Okay.
not only did you not see a lot of cops, but you're telling me the first cop rolled up in a 14-year-old Crown Vic?
Yeah, isn't that insane?
That is, bro, are you sure he was a cop in that like neighborhood patrol? Like, dang.
I mean, I suppose it could be, but I could have sworn.
Dang.
I don't know.
That's
I
silly,
don't know.
bro. That's pretty silly, man. So like, wow. I guess I asked about the homeless because I feel like that's what San Francisco gets the bad rap for, is like, for,
Yeah,
they got a ton of homeless and
for
blah blah
sure.
blah. But like, also, it's very easy for people to forget that San Francisco is probably, a huge city. And like, think about like New York City, right? Like, you
Hmm.
know, like you could say whatever, Brooklyn or the Bronx is like one of the most dangerous places to go. And then like, but you could be in like uptown Manhattan by all these $1 million penthouses, right? Like, still the same city.
Yeah, well, it's basically 47 square miles with an 800,000 population.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so okay. That's
But
like
dude,
a eight by
get this.
6 mile, 8 miles wide, 6 miles long.
Yeah, so get this though. At the restaurants, I was looking at the bill, and there was an employment city tax of some kind. So like there was the regular bill.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, remember what that tax is called? No. Okay. Well, anyway, I looked it up,
Yeah.
and it's a tax to help cover employee medical like not benefits, but like health expenses or something. So rather than the employers providing health benefits, it's just taxed, I guess.
Hmm.
So I don't know. That's just kind of struck me a little bit weird because I don't know of any other places that do that. But it kind of makes you wonder because there are places where the minimum wage is extremely low, but tips are like fantastic, right? So I don't know. Like on one hand, I feel like I think I'd rather just pay for a higher cost for the meal
Yeah.
and then have the company do the right thing and just pay their workers more rather than seeing an extra tax on the bill.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Because this is saying something like service fee, labor surcharge, fair wage, employer mandates, healthcare security ordinance, San Francisco safety and benefit charge.
Yeah.
And like, dude, that's a lot. I mean, so like, here's the weird thing about that, right? Is that like, inadvertently, right, those costs would be passed on to the customer anyways, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're running a business, you're running a restaurant, and you have like you're setting up like your total P&L, right? Like, under all of your expenses would be, like anything for benefits, anything for wages, anything for your overhead, all that stuff, like costs of, whatever. And then you would kind of like figure that out, and then you kind of would just massage your prices to reflect that anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't like it almost kind of seems like, in a weird way, it's like a double dip.
Yeah, yeah, because like I don't know, like I guess I don't want to get into it too much, but like I just saw that and like, huh, interesting.
And what was it, like a low percentage number though? Was it only like a dollar or two on the bill?
Oh yeah, it was small, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting completely like extorted here.
Mm-hmm.
But I just would have rather have it just been included because you have that, then you have whatever people, whatever you decide to tip if people do, and
Yeah,
yeah, just like we're taxed for everything pretty exorbitantly over here, and that's just one more thing San Franciscans have to deal with.
that's crazy, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's you know what this actually just made me think of, like kind of like this little bit extra on the bill
Hmm.
is this is crazy news. Did you see that the United States Treasury is going to discontinue making the penny?
I heard that they wanted to, but I didn't know that that was actually getting pushed through or whatever.
Dude, it's official. It's official. I saw this article came out the 23rd, and it said after 233 years, the U.S. will officially end the penny production. This is the statements from the Treasury Department. The U.S. Mint is using the last of its coin blanks to mint the final pennies this week. Dude, so I'm gonna try to get my hands on some 2025 pennies. As silly as that sounds,
Yeah, no, it makes
I
sense.
think it'll be pretty cool just to like one day say I have them, like maybe I show my grandkids, look at this, like like the old Simpsons like grandpa or whatever who's like, come here kids, let me tell
Hmm.
you about the pennies, and he's sitting on the hill, that meme?
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly like that. But yeah, so then I saw something that was posted on X, and I trying to find it real quick, but basically saying that something like the U.S. government is losing like $100 million a year on pennies.
I've heard that for many years now that the cost of making them is more than they're worth.
Yeah, I don't
And I
think.
don't know if that's a combination of manufacturing and also the fact that copper is expensive.
Yeah, I
But
think
I know that they haven't been pure copper in like forever either.
no, they're copper and nickel combo, right? So like,
Yeah.
so um, it costs 3.7 cents currently to make a penny, a Lincoln penny, right? So like
Mm.
it's, there's a huge loss right there. And then now it's also saying that a nickel costs 13.8 cents. So like it
What?
it's like the crazy thing about this is that like I'm kind of wondering, well, when are you going to phase out the nickel? Because
Well,
like,
ideally, they'd want us to go cashless,
right, and that's where I think we're
which is
headed.
something I'll never trust.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. 'Cause then you can just, we're just like a couple of sneezes in the wrong direction away from social credit score or whatever, and your money being cut off. But
Yeah.
but you have to admit the amount that it costs to make these coins. Obviously, I can see why you're discontinuing the penny. I didn't realize until like looking at the article that the nickel was so much, right? So like
Hmm.
what the initial report said was basically, businesses will be instructed to round, right? If they don't,
Yeah.
because they don't have, you can't expect the business to constantly have a supply of pennies to be giving them out. So businesses will be instructed to round based off of whatever to like the nearest 5 cents. And I was just like, well, like, how often do I really pay with cash? Pay with cash something like that it would matter. Like most time,
Yeah, that's true.
if I do a cash transaction, it's usually like, oh, I'm at a yard sale and I'm buy this for $5, or oh, here's like $20. I'm gonna put $20 in my gas tank exactly if I don't have my card or something, right? But like,
Right.
it's usually never something with dollars and cents, so it shouldn't matter anyways. But that's a crazy concept. Like they just round.
Yeah, but speaking of credit scores or social credit scores, there's a really good episode on Netflix's Black Mirror about social credit scores.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a really good episode about that kind of stuff. That show was really good because each like they're not the episodes are not related in the slightest. They're
Yeah.
all just like their own unique story, like a maybe like a Twilight Zone sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they have some really good ones. They have a new season which I haven't watched, maybe two new seasons. But at least the first few that I watched were pretty darn good. Um, so pre 82, copper or pennies were 95% copper, 5% zinc, and then right now it's 97% zinc, 2.5%. So 97.5 zinc, 2.5% copper.
The penny is only
Yep.
2.5% copper.
Yeah. So like that's I wonder how long it's going to take to actually get these things out of circulation. Because like you said, customers or businesses will round up,
Hmm.
but dude, that's a lot of. I mean, there's billions of pennies out there for
Yes.
sure.
So like, and they made like it says in 2024 they made 3.2 billion 3.2 billion pennies
Yeah, in just the 1 year.
in just the 1 year.
Yeah,
And
wow.
so 3.2 billion pennies is what, like, actually cost the cost of like 32 million.
Hmm.
So, and then that 32 million, of that 32 million, like three-quarters of that, roughly, if we round, is extra cost of making the penny, because it costs almost 4 cents to make a 1 cent thing. So
Yeah,
if it's 32 million, dude, it's literally like the treasury lost $24 million making pennies last year.
yeah.
What?
I mean, I guess it was inevitable that
Sure.
they would do this because they've been talking about it for a long time. But like,
Mm.
I wonder what finally gave them the like the decision to finally say, okay, this is like the line in the sand. I wonder when that actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder too. I gotta give credit to my dad. My dad, I remember him when I was a kid. I can probably remember being like maybe 9, 10 years old.
Hmm.
Him questioning then. That's over 25 years ago. The deletion of a penny. Like, oh, a penny's stupid.
Yeah,
You can't get anything for a penny anymore. Why not just delete, like, get rid of the penny, and if you have the penny, you would pay with it. If you don't have the penny, you would round up. And I was just like,
yeah,
I don't, of course I'm a kid. I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know. you know. But
yeah.
now they're doing it. Now they're doing it. Isn't that crazy?
Did you ever save coins, like just in general?
Off and on. I do have some cool ones. I have a really cool one, with like sentimental value that a friend gave me.
Hmm.
Uh, I I got a coin without a date on it. I've got a dollar bill from 1929. That sucker is ragged, bro. Ragged. It's like brown.
Is it a silver certificate?
No.
Oh, okay, I have a couple of silver certificates, and I used to save any silver coins or quarters that were before 64
Yep.
because they were 90% silver content.
Hmm.
Haven't done that in a while, but like my first job, I worked at a coffee shop, so anytime I would see coins come in, I was always looking for 1964 or earlier just to like
Yeah.
swap out with my tips or whatever.
Yeah. You can hear it too when the coins jingle together. You can tell, oh,
Hmm.
there's something in here. It doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have some of those. Like, I think I have a couple like silver quarters. I got a bunch of like silver dollars. Um,
Yep.
I mean, that's cool. Uh, yeah, I have this thing with like sequential bills. I don't know. I'm always like trying to get like brand new sequential bills. I know, and like I know you can order
It's
them.
very fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like neat, you know? You just flipping through it and you're watching that number go up.
yeah, yeah. I have some, but like I have some uncirculated $2 bills that are sequential, like 180 or so in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, every once in a while I'll be with my daughter and be like, "Hey, let's go to the bank, see if they have any bills, see if anything cool, and just like go in there and ask them, and they're like, this is the same bank from that like withdraw my money story, but like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and they'll be
It's
like,
this guy.
yeah, they'll be like, this freaking weirdo's back, and what does he want now? So. Yeah, but I think that's a thing. If you're ever looking to get sequential bills, like sequential $2 bills, especially, um, the bank told me that like around Christmas time is the best time to do it because people will come in and give them out like as gifts or with part of their gifts or whatever. So they like to get like brand new, crisp,
Yeah.
like $2 bills. Uh, but around here and like, so fun fact about Joe, I've never been to a strip club. There is a very popular strip club in Portland, Maine that you are not
Mhm.
allowed to bring $1 bills in, $2 bills. So
Oh, interesting.
so around here, if you walk in the bank and you're like, "Hey, can I get some $2 bills?" They think you're going there. Like that's like
Oh,
so
okay.
it's kind of like a weird thing. So like kind of like walk in, you're like, "Yeah, can I get some $2 the twos, the bills, yeah, the twos, yeah. Like you don't want to be like loud about it, and because like I didn't know this, and I've never
Hmm.
been to one. I was just like, yeah, you guys have any $2 bills? You know, like, and just I see like this funny expression. I'm like, what's going on
And
here?
also, like, can I get some crisp $2 bills? Listen, Bucko, we know where you're going. Why do they need to be crisp?
Yes, yes, yeah. I don't want any ratty pre-used ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The first $2 bill that I ever got was for Christmas, and it had a little Santa doll, like a Santa face covered over.
a little, yeah, like a little
And
like
I still actually have it.
stick
I got
on.
the little card
Mm-hmm.
and the little sticker things called the Santa dollar, and I
Yeah.
have like a little envelope that I have with the twos that I've kept along with that silver certificate
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I used
yeah,
to get those that same thing you're talking about. I used to get those for my daughters. I think they used to like sell them at like Walmart. They'll have a little like sign on the register, like if you want them, like you can get them, and you know
yeah.
the customer service rep or whoever would like handle it. And I have a few of those in my safe too, with the other like bills from Christmas with the sticker. I think I even have a Easter one, and it's like a bunny picture over
Oh, okay.
who is it? Grover Cleveland, right, on the two.
Oh, dude, I'm horrible with that. I don't know.
Hold on. I'm pretty
Let
sure, dude. Who is on the two?
me check it real quick. I might have it right behind me.
Oh, it's Thomas Jefferson, bro. I don't know why I thought Grover Cleveland, bro. What bill is Grover?
Let's see here. Jefferson.
Yeah, it is Jefferson on the two. I don't know. Let's see. Did the U.S. feature a $1,000 bill with Grover Cleveland?
My
Yes, they
thing
did,
is blotting it out.
bro.
I'm trying to show my silver certificate, but it keeps blocking me out. Uh,
Oh, that's funny.
whatever.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
whatever.
That's
It's
so
so.
funny. I saw it
Oh,
like,
I guess I was mistaken. The Santa dollar I only have is just a $1 bill
oh, it's funny.
with the picture. I thought it was a two.
It's funny,
Well,
bro.
Robbie's a liar.
A rare 1934 $1,000 bill.
Ooh,
Look at this bad boy.
I've seen those online. That's quite the collector's item.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like I know on like eBay you can, people have the sequential dollar bills and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, dude, but like they're always charging 2-3 times face value, and I'm like, this is a scam. This is a total scam
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like you know what? Because the funniest part about just keeping dollar bills is that like every year you keep that dollar, it's worth less. Like
Right.
unless it's a
Yeah.
collectible dollar, it's like the whole concept of paper money is like obscure. Like just don't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you think like if I never have any paper money, like what would I do if I can't get to my money? Like that's what I always
Mhm.
think. So then it's like okay, the depreciation in the face value is like you're paying the fee for the insurance of having it available.
Yeah.
Weird, but every year it loses 3%.
Yep. But you know what's not weird? Tuning
No.
into the Coast to Coast Traders podcast next week.
Yeah, what are we gonna do next week?
Liking and subscribing? I don't know. I haven't thought about that far yet.
We haven't got that
I
far
don't even
yet,
know what I'm doing
folks.
tomorrow.
Bro, it's already been 50 minutes of just straight BSing. And
Yeah,
we actually had high quality, I feel, high quality technical analysis on e.l.f., Nvidia, and Tesla.
indeed.
Indeed, So and potentially a fantastic Starfighter pre-IPO
Yeah,
investment.
we'll if we remember when that actually IPOs, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, definitely for sure. That's entertainment purposes for sure. But cool name, dude. Cool name.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's one of it's been so long. Maybe it wasn't as good a movie as I thought, but there was a movie in the '90s or maybe it was the '80s called The Last Starfighter, and this guy he played a video game,
Mhm.
and the video game was actually a test, and so when he won, like he got scooped up, and they sent him out in space to fight this battle. At least I think I'm pretty sure that's the plot.
Well,
Um,
dude. This says that it's a 1984 movie, and it's a space
oh,
op
okay.
A space opera film.
I don't remember it being a space opera, but okay. I mean, sure.
Hmm.
Maybe I need to rewatch it, but I remember it being entertaining.
Yeah.
Another good one I remember was Enemy Mine. I think it had Randy Quaid or but one thing that was like really funny is this the alien was Dennis Quaid.
Hmm.
So like the human and the alien, I guess they got stuck on this like something together, and they end up kind of becoming friends because like they're gonna die without each other anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like they were trash talking to each other, and the guy was kind of like joking, and then the alien made a comment like, "Oh yeah, well your Mickey Mouse sucks too," and like I just remember kind of laughing because like the guy was using Mickey Mouse as like kind of like a joke just to like well maybe not a joke but like saying oh he was just like doing it to like get sympathy I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know these old crummy movies. It's probably a horrible movie. If I go watch it, it might be like awful. So, but I don't know. I should go check that out.
All right. Well,
But
let's end on this then. What's your favorite movie?
ooh, favorite movie?
Yeah.
That's a hard one. But underrated movie is Equilibrium with Christian Bale.
Never seen it. I'm gonna write it down.
Came out around around the time Matrix came out, and it's a very dystopian future movie. He is like part of the government, and you're not allowed to like feel and have uh, anything like artistic. The whole society is like doped up,
Is it kind of
and
like
then
a
there's
spin-off of 1984 by George Orwell, the book?
I haven't read the book, but I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
But there's like there's a rebellion that wants to get society to just be normal again,
Okay.
but
And
they all dope up every day.
so that's your like underrated like favoriteest movie?
Yeah, I can't think of a favorite because I mean there's a lot of good movies out there, and my favorite today's might change tomorrow or whatever. I can't think of a one that I would say, oh, you got to watch this because actually I haven't been to the theaters since pre-pandemic,
What?
and yeah, I used to go to theaters like at least once a year with my sisters for like our birthdays.
Yeah.
We'd all take each other out for our birthdays, and since the pandemic, we stopped with that tradition, and I just haven't watched many movies, like many new releases since then. Really,
Dang. That's
what's your favorite movie?
okay. That's
What's
wild.
Joe's top pick?
That's wild to think about. I would say I have a really hard time with this too because, like, over the years, there's obviously been so many great movies, right? Like, it would be
Yeah.
very easy to make like a top 50 list,
Hmm.
and if I was gonna put movies on that like top 50 list, I might say things like, like The Dark Knight, or I mean, even Titanic for its like overall quality, or
Yeah.
Interstellar, right? Like there's and those are three very different movies.
Yeah.
But as a kid, there were two movies like on VHS that I watched. Like, honestly, I'm surprised I never burned out a VHS, if that's even possible. And
Yeah.
those two movies would be Top Gun and
Okay.
and Home Alone,
Oh yeah, Home Alone is classic.
the
But see,
original.
I couldn't say that's like my favorite movie, but
Yeah,
yeah, it'd be in the top list for sure.
yeah, yeah. But I'm also like an enormous James Bond fan, and I have
Hmm.
probably seen Casino Royale 20 times, maybe.
Uh huh.
So I mean, but I can't say like that's like my favorite movie of all time. Like I've just seen it a bunch, especially like, if we've ever just been anywhere and it's on TV, I'll just like, all right, I'll just leave this on, instead of just like surfing.
Right.
Uh,
I don't think I saw any of the James Bonds after Casino Royale.
oh,
I think that's the last one that I saw.
they did a pretty good job of tying the whole entire like storyline together as like five consecutive movies, like with the same actor. Um,
Okay.
they're pretty good. I think they're. I mean, obviously, I like James Bond movies, but I think they're pretty entertaining, and I think that Daniel Craig did a really good job of like bringing like depth to the character of James
Yeah.
Bond, because like I mean, so if you've seen Casino Royale, like he loses like his like first love, you know,
Hmm.
and so that's like that is a thing that continues to tie in all the way through the end of the fifth movie.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah,
Well, thanks for watching the Coast to Coast Movie Critics podcast, guys.
that's it. Yeah, we're versatile over here. We're very versatile.
Yeah, yeah,
So hey,
yeah.
if you know for sure you got a favorite movie of all time, drop it down below in the comments. But otherwise, we'll see you next time.
See you guys.